you right there watching this weekly news. Me and Big Cuzzo. Happy Monday. Stay blessed. Yep.
Right.
And this news is being presented to you by your favorite smoking partner, Serpo.
For
Yeah.
sure, yeah. And make sure you stay elevated with Big J.
And sponsored by that glue guard for you drippy lippy mother.
Yes.
You know what I'm saying?
Yes.
So yeah.
Wipe that motherfucker.
For sure. Hemp supporters crowd Texas state capitol to protest proposed THC ban. What is all this about? Hundreds of supporters of the Texas hemp industry crowded the state capitol building a Monday ago. You know what I'm saying? To denounce efforts in the legislature to heavily restrict or even ban hemp-derived THC products. Come on, Texans. Hemp products containing 0.3% THC or less have been legal in Texas since 2019. And in that time, the industry has bloomed into a multi-billion-dollar industry, supporting tens of thousands of jobs in the state. Helpful. You know what I'm saying? The majority of the testimony was opposing the restrictions that the report said the bill specifically target THC, the primary psychoactive ingredient in cannabis. Senate Bill 3, which was passed by the Senate last month, seeks to ban any and all forms of THC. And House Bill 28 would allow for low-potency products but implement serving size restrictions. A bunch of, you know what I'm saying? They wonder why the black market be like going up.
Man.
But on to the next one.
Man, for sure. Hey, look, man. What's that look? What they be saying? Why don't you lying? Hey, look, man. What is gonna happen with the marijuana rescheduling? You feel me? All the motherfuckers that's supposed to be getting this thing descheduled or rescheduled. You know what I'm talking about? So look, marijuana rescheduling. Don't hold your breath, says ex-official. It's becoming a bit of a head scratcher for folks watching the marijuana rescheduling situation. Word on the street from some ex-bigwigs at the DEA and the HHS is that this whole process would take a good while longer than folks were hoping. It's supposed to have already happened. You know what I'm talking about? They're even saying that if the new administration doesn't actively throw its weight behind the idea, it might just get stuck in neutral indefinitely. And for those of y'all that don't know, like Trump talking about, he okay with the medical side of it, though. You know what I'm saying? He not really pushing the recreational side of it,
All
though.
that shit is medical, though.
Man, look, these ex-officials are pointing out that the current pause in the rescheduling talks could turn into a full-on stop if the new folks in charge decide to rethink some of the legal arguments that the previous administration's Justice Department made. So they was capping too, though. The other administration, they was prolonging the situation and all that. You know what I'm talking about? One name that keeps popping up is Terrence Cole, who's been tapped to potentially lead the DEA. Apparently, he's got a long history with the agency, which some interpret as not being super encouraging for a quick move on rescheduling. They playing with us, man. Now, everyone's been waiting to see if the new administration will stick with the previous stance, because he said they was with it, on the legal stuff supporting rescheduling. But so far, it's been radio silence. He ain't said nothing. You know what I mean? He been talking about everything, the turfs. You know what I'm saying? The turfs. You know what I'm saying? But so far, it's been radio silence. These formal officials are making it clear that a change of heart there could really throw a wrench in the works, man. So look, man, it's an ongoing process. It's like they dragging it out. And like I say all the time, man, the big business is already making money.
For sure.
So it's like, what's the rush to reschedule it for them?
But look, you know what I'm saying, from your favorite smoking partner to you know what I'm saying, we deliver this good old news to y'all, you know what I'm saying, for those who matter. But me, I kind of tend not to pay attention to it because it's like they always moving the goalposts.
Man,
you know what I'm saying? We'll get the talks going up, get the supporters going, you know what I'm saying? Oh, we right here. Next thing you know, shit, we got 60 more yards to go.
Man.
Man,
Okay.
got me being slow. New York investigating product inversion involving out-of-state cannabis brands. What they talking about? They talking about nothing. But they talking about something.
Huh?
The New York Office of Cannabis Management is investigating several large cannabis brands for potential inversion of out-of-state cannabis products into New York's regulated cannabis market. Cannabis inversion is when unapproved products get diverted into a state's adult use market, circumventing local cannabis licensing and equity control rules. You know what I'm saying? So pretty much if you're inside the equity program, you know what I'm saying, you're going like the legal route.
Yeah.
For example, you can only have 0.5% THC.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? This what they call inversion may have 0.7 THC.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Little stuff like that.
Yeah.
The Times cited unnamed sources claiming at least 6 cannabis brands are being investigated for inversion, including large multi-state operators like Stizzy, Grown. I hope I said that one right because they got some type of little fancy shit on it.
Yeah, you got it right.
And Infused. OCM officials on previous weeks conducted surprise audits of Omnium Canna as part of its investigation launched early February. The report said into whether the licensed cannabis processor might be manufacturing cannabis products using out-of-state cannabis. The Omnium, which manufactures products for the brands listed in the report, is found to have improperly obtained its source material. The company's license could be forfeit. So if they was like on the good, you know what I'm saying, following the rules, this, that, and the other, but you got that 0.7 THC,
right?
You're gonna get the scratch in your head, like, you know what I'm saying? Stizzy CEO James Kim said in the report, ain't no point. He said, ain't no point. No, excuse me. That's me saying.
Don't.
You know what I'm saying? At no point have we sourced cannabis from out of state or engaged in practices that violate New York's cannabis regulation. You know what I'm saying? So Stizzy low-key stepping up like, shit, we ain't doing none of that. Yeah, so they low-key pointing the finger.
Stizzy a big wig too, though. Big business. Think big. Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Think big, bitch. You know what I'm talking about? Hey, Medicare finalizes rule. No federal coverage for medical marijuana. We need that. Yeah. On April 8th, 2025, the Centers for Medicare and Medicaid Services, CMS, officially finalized a rule to clarify that medical marijuana will not be covered under federal health programs like Medicare and Medicaid. The rule, which is set to take effect on June 3rd, 2025, codifies the agency's long-standing position that marijuana products are not eligible for coverage because they remain illegal under federal law as a Schedule I controlled substance. This is why we keep talking about this shit, like the prolonging.
But they ain't talking about that.
Man, in the announcement, CMS stated that this clarification was in response to inquiries from Medicare Advantage organizations about whether they could offer cannabis-based products as a supplement benefit. The agency explicitly stated that medical marijuana or derivatives such as cannabis oil cannot be covered by MA organizations as they are illegal substances under federal law. This rule also includes CBD, a non-intoxicating cannabinoid, on a list of items that cannot be covered as a supplemental benefit because it is not considered preliminary health related. The list also includes items like alcohol and tobacco, funeral expenses, and life insurance. The final rule reinforces the existing limitations on Medicare coverage for medical marijuana. You know what I'm saying? And in my opinion, I know it's not legal on the federal level though, but I think that should be a situation where certain states that's legalized should, step up and maybe have some kind of some nuts. You feel me? And be able to kind of regulate it themselves in each state though, because it is beneficial to people on a medical level. Yeah.
So Medicare, that's just like if I go in and try to apply for Medicare, you know what I'm saying? They wouldn't try to help me out with nothing like that.
No, they won't cover nothing like that.
And like what I'm getting, they also don't help with like funeral like services and nothing like that.
Yeah, none of that.
I never knew that, G.
You know what I'm saying? Hey, look, real quick. Every time, if you look at a lot of these laws, a lot of little different things that's passed, it's always things in the small print. You know what I'm saying? It might be the big thing that you see, but then it's things in the small print that we don't see or pay attention to.
Man, I did not know that one.
Real.
Hawaii lawmakers trying to shut down illegal dispensaries selling intoxicating hemp products. Why, though? Hawaii lawmakers are trying to shut down shops selling intoxicating hemp-derived products. In a resolution introduced to the state House of Representatives, lawmakers say there are allegedly over 84 illegal dispensaries operating. You know what I'm saying? With that number like increasing like kind of fast.
Man.
The Department of Health, Department of Attorney General, and Department of Law Enforcement are urged to coordinate an enforcement plan to address the lack of enforcement compliance, rules, and regulations regarding the surge of illegal dispensary operators that sell cannabis labeled as hemp. And that was the Hawaii House Resolution 141. My little quick observation, one time, like, shit, is weed. Shit, let me get some of that shit so I don't gotta be thinking so hard on this motherfucking job. You know what I'm saying? That's why we probably not like busting down on these motherfuckers.
On the real.
But that may not be the case. That's only a thought.
Right. And the regulators, it's the fault of the regulators from state to state. You know what I'm saying? Like, the way they regulating this shit though is causing for the black market to be here and stay here and thrive. You know what I'm saying?
You know what I'm saying? He should give us something to talk about, though.
For sure.
You know what I'm saying? 2 bills recently introduced in the Hawaii Senate to reform the state medical cannabis program include language to crack down on retailers selling high THC hemp products. Both proposals were given passage recommendations by the Senate Judiciary and Ways and Means Committee last week. You know what I'm saying? So they trying to, I guess, formulate that little plan, you know what I'm saying, to like get their THC raw. Right. You know what I'm saying? But that's your weekly edition of the Best Way to Smoke News with your favorite smoking partner, Sir Folk Jr.
And make sure you stay elevated with Big J.
Baby.